So if you're a young person in your 20s or in your 30s, because I feel that those are the kind of people I can resonate with the most. You don't even have to be in your 20s or 30s. But if you're the kind of person that you want to develop, you want to become a better person, there are some things that I've written down here today that you must avoid if you must develop. Now, number one is that any form of negative talk to yourself. Now, I'm not talking about negative talk that I get from people. I'm talking about negative talk to yourself. You need to avoid it. There are some jokes I do not crack. Any form of negative thoughts to yourself, you should not have negative thoughts to yourself. It is wrong. Because whatever you conceive in your mind is what becomes your reality. So at every single point in time where you're trying to do something, you should always try to think positively. Now, number two, if you're going to develop, you need to avoid procrastination by all means. Because the more time you waste, the farther your destination becomes. The longer it's going to take before you win. And the faster you take action, the closer you are to victory. So it's super important that you have to understand that you should not be procrastinating. Set deadlines, have goals, and try to achieve them. Now, number three is if you must develop, you need to quit comparing yourself to others. You need to stop that right now. Because everybody has different paths. At the end of the day, we all want to meet at the top. But your journey and my journey is going to be totally different. I might decide to take part 100 and you might decide to take part 356. But the end goal is that at the end of the day, let's all meet at the top. It might take me 3 years, it might take you 5 years. It might take you 2 months, it might take me 3 years. Because our paths are different, our personalities are different. But our end goal is to be able to reach that particular level where we'll be like, we've won. So you comparing yourself with somebody on a different path as you is one way to be depressed. It's one way to, it's detrimental to you. So do not compare yourself with people. Resist the urge to compare yourself with people. Now, remember I told you the first time that you should avoid negative thoughts, talk to yourself. Now, the fourth point is that avoid negative people around you. Avoid negative people around you. I don't have to explain this too much. Because negative people are only going to give you negative vibes. Now, number 5 is that you should not be afraid of failure. People normally say this thing that do it afraid. I don't know how true that is, but most times at the end of the day, when you try to do something that you've been scared of many times, you find out that that thing that you have been scared of was just a false reality. Some people say the full meaning of fear is false evidence appearing real. I don't know how true that is, but many times than not, when I overcome fear and I do something that I've been slowing down to do, thinking quote unquote I was scared of, I noticed that it wasn't really that bad. So most times, fear is just an emotion that clouds your judgment. So if you're going to do it afraid. If you're not going to do it, don't do it at all. But if you need to do it afraid. It's totally going to change your life. Now, number 6 is that by all means, always continue to learn. Always, always, always continue to learn. Take courses, attend events, learn from people, learn from your own personal mistakes, reflect on your activities. One of the best persons you can learn from is your former self. Because if you're doing bad now, you think about your former self and be like, he was doing good. What was he doing right? If you're doing good right now, you reflect and say, these were things he was doing wrong. And I'm never going to do all those things anymore. One of the best people you can learn from today is your former self. Then, always learn from people's mistakes. Don't wait to make mistakes before you learn. and always be a student. You have to be a student. Always be open to be students. Because students get lessons that sometimes the teachers might not even know. So always be open to learning every single time. Continue learning. I'm telling you, if you must develop, you need to continue learning, because you can only make as much money as you are growing intellectually, which means that your skill set is directly proportional to how much money you can make many times. So I hope this video has been able to give you some kind of value, and see you guys in the next and the last video for this series.